Hi there. In this video, I'm going to take you through a static stretch routine. It's a really good routine for use after a turbo session, spin class, or after a run. Okay, so the key with this is we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. In terms of how long to hold the stretches, if you're looking to build mobility and flexibility, then you probably want to hold the stretch up to a minute. If you're just looking to rid a bit of tension and just loosen off the muscle, then around 15 to 30 seconds should do fine. Okay, so I'm going to take you through it. These static stretches are for use after a session. So dynamic stretches you want to use as part of the warm-up. Try to avoid doing static stretches during a session because basically when you're hyperextending the muscle, it's then going to kind of damage your power output, and it's also going to help make you feel lethargic. Okay, so use these after a session and try to do it after every single session. So it's going to have a big impact on your motivation. So hopefully, if you're stretching after each session, you're not going to then get to the next one still feeling stiff and achy. And it can really improve your consistency if you're getting to each session feeling pretty good. Okay, so we're going to start now. So onto the mat, basically into the press up position. And we're going to start off by stretching out the calves. So from here, we just walk the hands back until the heel is on the ground, and then we can start shifting our weight forwards. But basically, we should have a nice stretch down the meat of the calf muscles. So this is stretching your gastrocnemius. So your gastrocnemius is the larger of the two calf muscles. So that's for the gastrocnemius. The second one is for the soleus, which is a smaller, deeper muscle right at the base of your calf. Okay, really important one for runners in particular, and anyone that gets any Achilles issues. So same setup as before, but this time we're bending the knee and just walk the heels back. And for this one, just think about dropping the knee to the ground whilst keeping the heel on the floor. Okay, that's a really good stretch for the bottom of your heel. And then from here, we're going to work our way up. So we're now going to stretch the hamstrings. So one knee on the ground, other leg stretch for you. And then from here, we're just pivoting at the hips and pushing our chest forwards. And if you can, hands on the ground and just walk them forwards. And then basically, the further you drop your chest, the more aggressive the stretch in your hamstring. Okay, so that's one hamstring stretch. For runners, again, in particular, you also want to stretch the top of the hamstring because it's a really common area for tears. To do that, similar to the calf stretch really, bending the knee, and then we start moving forwards from there, like so, and you'll start to feel it right at the top of the hamstring, as so. Okay, so that's the second hamstring stretch. Really recommend doing both. And then from here, we're going to turn onto our backs and stretch the glutes. So to do that, relax the upper body. One leg goes up and over the other so that the bottom knee sits into the crux of this top knee. And then from here, head down, we draw the legs towards our chest. And if we can, we just grab our ankles and draw our knees towards our chest. If you can't grab your ankles, just grab just below your knees and then just pull the legs towards you. And you should feel a really nice kind of stretch in the meat of your glute. So that's the first one for your glutes. This one is also for your glutes, but will feed into your lower back. So for this, one leg outstretched, head down, draw one knee up towards you, and then with the opposite hand, grab the outside of the knee and just pull it across your body. This hand goes out wide. Okay, and the key to the stretch is keeping both shoulders flat on the ground. And you should feel a nice stretch around the outside of the hip and into your glute. Okay, so that's another good one. And from here, come back and start with one knee forwards, bent at 90 degrees. Draw the other knee up to the heel, 90-degree bend again. So this stretch is going to be, again, for the outside of the hip. If you ever get any piriformis issues, this is a really good stretch for stretching around that area and releasing a lot of tension from that region. So this hand is going to go out diagonally, and then with this hand, palm facing up, we're going to slot it underneath and kind of scoop round. So you can get a rotation in your chest. So just keep pushing that hand forward through, and basically if I come around like so, do it from here, you're going to start to feel a really nice stretch around the outside of the hip, and it should feel a little bit deeper than the previous stretches that we've done. So another really important one for cyclists, that one, because you get very stiff in your lower back and into the top of your glute. So a really good one for cyclists. It'll make you feel amazing afterwards. Okay, so that's that one, and then gonna continue kind of with the hip opening theme into the press up position, and this stretch is actually a yoga pose. It's called pigeon. So the way it works is draw the foot up, draw it across, and drop the knee down. So it should be around about 90-degree bend, perhaps a little bit more. And then from here, the back knee drops to the ground. Just shift your weight backwards, and so your hip on this side should be dropping towards the heel. Okay, so if I just turn the face, hopefully you see that again. So knee forwards, across, and then drop it down. Shift your weight backwards, so the hip on this side drops towards the heel. Just looking forwards, and then from there, you find that a little bit easy, and you're not feeling much of a stretch around the outside of this hip. Then just drop down onto your elbows, and over time, you should be able to progress. So your face going on the ground, but start small to start in this position. It helps really open up the hips. So doing that on both sides, of course. Okay, so coming back up, we're now just going to go onto our knees. So the knees are together, turn to the side, knees are together, feet are together, heels are together, and then we just sit back on the heels. So this is an important one for runners. It's going to stretch the front of your ankle. So runners tend to have hopefully very stable ankles, but not great ankle flexibility or mobility. So it's going to stretch the front of your ankles, your tibialis anterior, and also you're going to get a double whammy, hopefully a nice bit of a stretch in your quads as well. But just sit and chill out here. It's a very easy stretch to do. Okay. And then from there, we're going to swivel around onto all fours. One leg goes out to the side, and then we just shift our weight back into the center. And then from here, basically what we're looking to do is leverage into the inside of your hip. So from here, just twist your upper body, just lean into that joint, and you should get a really nice stretch into your groin area. Okay, direct down the inside of your leg. So that's that one. Final stretch, and there's a few ways of progressing this one. So this one's for your hip flexors and also your quads again. So one foot goes forwards, and then from here, we just shift our weight forwards, pushing into this hip, and you should get a nice stretch in your hip flexor here and down into your quad. If you're finding that easy, you can make it more aggressive. We're trying to lift your back leg up and grab it with your hand. The key thing about this one is, though, you have to make sure that your hips are straight. It's very easy to do this and then twist, and you lose the effect of the stretch. So just make sure you straighten up your hips, looking forwards, and then lean into it. Okay, so there you have it. That's a really good stretch routine for after a turbo bike session or after a run. And yeah, hopefully that should make you feel a hell of a lot better. And as I said at the start, please try and do it after every session. It might feel like a bit of a pain, but when you first start, it will take you a while, but over time you should be able to get that down to about 10 minutes. And it's super important that you try and do it each time. Okay, well there you go. Thanks very much.